what you're going to need for freeze branding is, let's just go down the line here. First thing is liquid nitrogen. Now this is a special tank made to carry liquid nitrogen. It's what you call a nitrogen tank. Now, if you buy one of these, or if you rent one, you need to be careful the way they're made. It's a tank within a tank. So this tank has actually got another tank welded up here at the top, so don't be banging it around or anything like that. But the reason I tell you that, because these are about $1,000 a piece. So liquid nitrogen, this is where we store it. This tank is plumb full. If we leave it sit, it's going to last about 3 months until it evaporates out. Now, liquid nitrogen, you always need to be having it where it can breathe. Don't be putting it in an enclosed container or a glass jar or something like that unless you want something to blow up on you. So, liquid nitrogen, very dangerous. That's one thing you're going to need. Another thing you're going to need is a styrofoam cooler. The reason we use styrofoam is because a regular cooler with a plastic liner that you buy in town, the plastic cannot handle this much cold, so the plastic will break out and you'll ruin your cooler. So if you just get a little old cheap styrofoam cooler, it's the best thing. And then whenever you have a big wreck and your horse jumps out and breaks your cooler, it's no big deal. Now, next thing, alcohol. 99% alcohol. Don't use anything else. This is what makes the brand work. Without the 99%, the brand will not work. You can brand it all day long and it will not work. Now, the reason we use 99% is because the alcohol is what carries the cold into the skin, which changes the pigment of the skin and which makes it the white hair. So if it's anything other than 99%, all you're doing is just freezing water. So 99% alcohol, very important. Next thing you'll need, set of clippers. Now these clippers are like if you're doing a little surgery or something, and they work real good for doing your freeze brand. Now here we do a lot more freeze branding, and we'll brand a couple thousand head of horses, so these things aren't even good for us. So we got the big one. This one we can brand right quick and in a hurry, so more horsepower is better for us. So the next thing, your iron. Okay, on these irons, they're heavy brass irons, and the reason they're so heavy and they're made of brass is because they hold the cold longer. And it's very important to get them cold and hold it for a long time. So that's why we get the brass irons. Now, these irons, to get these made, if you go to my website, Helicopter Horseman, I'll have somebody there that can fix you up. Now, the reason we freeze brand over fire brand is because fire brands, like if you want to put a little 0 in as a fire brand would blotch out and you couldn't read the number. So freeze brand you can get really artistically with a freeze brand and get really detailed, and it looks very nice. And of course you don't want your horse having a big blotch riding around showing him. So that's why we freeze brand. Now what we will be freeze branding today are recipient mares. The reason why we're freezing them, I'll put my brand on them so everybody knows who owns them. Then we're going to put a number on them, and the number will tell you how old the mare is, but more importantly, it'll tell you which mare she is. The mare we're branding today will be 0365, and the reason we do that is so we'll know what embryo we put in what mare. So if we put a Smart Lolina or a First Down Dash, we want to know whose embryo is in whose mare so we don't get all that mixed up. Okay, so we're bringing the mare in, and we'll bring the mare in, and then she's coming in. She's going to go into the stock. Now, the stock is designed for palpating mares or working on horses, and it's very important that you have a stock when you go to freeze brand your mare, because it's very important that the mare is still. She needs to stand still, or the horse. I've got so many mares, all I say is mares. So your horse has to be still. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring her in, and we're going to give her a little bit of just kind of trank her just a little bit, just to kind of chill her. And we'll do a little test brand. We'll clip her and do a little test brand, make sure she's not going to wig out and she's going to stand still for us. So the mare, it's very important for the horse to stand still, because you only get one chance at brand. If you mess it up halfway through, you messed it up. I mean, it's a one-shot deal. So I can't stress enough, you get your horse in here, you get him sit down and be still. Okay, so now we've got the liquid nitrogen poured into the cooler. Now it's important that you put enough liquid nitrogen in there so that your brand is completely submerged in the liquid. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to submerge the brand, and we'll watch it. And what's going to do is going to bubble. And whenever it stops bubbling, that's when you know your iron is cold enough to brand. So let's set her in there and let's take a look at it. Okay, you can see it looks like it's boiling. Now, while we're sitting there talking about boiling, this liquid nitrogen is very dangerous. I mean, it's just like boiling water, but it's cold. It's just the opposite, and it will burn you. So, anytime you're working with liquid nitrogen, always be careful. You knowing that not having some kids around that would stick their finger in or anything like that. So, and have it sitting in a safe place in case the horse wigs out, and your cooler blows up. It doesn't burn somebody, permanently scar them. So, one thing to remember whenever this iron's cold, your handle here is going to be getting cold too. So, whenever we go to brand, we'll put some gloves on, and so we can handle these irons with gloves, so we don't get burned or something. So.